Hey everybody, Mecha Sandwich here. And about a year ago, at the release of this video, probably a little bit over by a couple weeks, unfortunately, I've been very busy. We had the release of Halo Infinite, and I made a video right after saying this game has a problem. This progression system is based solely on microtransactions. I said this is not a good sign. This is the type of fear I had when I heard the multiplayer was going to be free to play. I was giving the game a chance, and the gameplay was great, and I still enjoy the gameplay to this day. So, I can't complain about the gameplay. But there's a lot else I can complain about, much more than just the microtransactions now, and I hate to say it, but I was right. I mean, I could go do the full Razor Fist chair spin, fuck you, I was right, fuck you, I was right, but I don't know. It's not really that I wanted to be right in this instance. I wanted to be wrong so desperately because I'm a Halo fan, and well, let's just look at all that's wrong with this game. And do note, this is going to be focusing only on the multiplayer, as I have yet to actually play the campaign. Though I have heard there are some issues, but overall it's fine. Definitely is better than Halo 5 for campaign, from what I've heard, which, granted, should not be that hard. There's more debate about whether or not it's better than Halo 4's, which, again, I'm not a big Halo 4 fan, especially the campaign, but that's neither here nor there. This is about the multiplayer. So just keep that in mind. And first off, what I've already brought up, yes, the microtransaction system is still there and it's still bad. You're still going to be paying a ton of money to get any sort of cosmetics that make you look unique. And it's just not good. I don't like this system because part of what made Halo Reach especially so fun was the progression system. You could do these cool achievements in the game and get cool rewards to look cool in the game like it. It's something that I miss desperately in Halo Infinite because if you look at all the Spartans in the games, so many of them look the exact same. They either have almost no cosmetics on, or they have basic cosmetics they got from the free tier of the Battle Pass on. You'll see a couple every now and then who look a little bit more unique, but still not that much that you would hope for. And sometimes when they do, well, one of the things they praised this game for at launch, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the video, the art style for Halo was finally back. It no longer looked way too realistic and hyper detailed and gritty. It looked like a Halo game. It looked like Comet Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, yet again. I was so happy about that. The art style finally looked like Halo again. And so many of these new cosmetics just do not. At all. In fact, some of these art style breaks are so egregious that it makes me wish we were still in Halo 5 when it comes to art style, because it's that bad in some instances, and I hate that. I really, really do. And it just gets so much worse when you realize that these things are being charged anywhere from 10 to 20, sometimes even 25 for a bundle. Like, it's absurd the prices you have to pay for these cosmetics, and it's just not good. Of course, the Battle Pass, and I don't like the Battle Pass, and I'm going to get into that soon next, but it's okay. I don't hate this Battle Pass as much as other games, because you can replay the old ones. This is something that I really wish every other game that had a Battle Pass had. You still get the progression from it, but you can actually replay it. It's not time limited. If people want to pay money for the old Battle Passes, they easily can. I see this as an absolute win in terms of making money. People can buy more than one Battle Pass at a time, that is. So that's good. But at the same time, they still made the mistake of having way too many time limited things that are tied behind stupid pass progression. For example, the Fracture Tenrai event, there's probably been others since then while I was gone. That was the one that was happening at launch, or a little after launch, really, where we had a cool samurai armor set that was time limited. You can't get it anymore. It was its own little pass, and it's time limited. That sucks. And another thing I gotta mention, this happened after my last video, I believe. They had microtransaction cosmetics in the shop for the time limited cosmetic, which just makes it even worse, in my opinion. That is insanely egregious, and I don't even know what to say there. And to finish off the update on the Battle Pass, unfortunately, they've made the grind a hell of a lot slower than it was before. One of the things I actually liked about the Battle Pass at launch was that it actually leveled up really quickly. I could level up to level 25 in about 18 hours, and I was happy with that. That was pretty good, and I wasn't even focusing on challenges. I was mainly just playing the game. Now you have to really focus hard on the challenges because they've really nerfed the level up system. You do not level up that Battle Pass nearly as quick as you would want to. And it's gotten really bad really quick. And that's not good. And why do they do this? Because they want you to pay for tiers. Another thing I hate about Battle Passes, paying for tiers. And it's just sad, but it's the truth. But that's enough about the Battle Passes. Said all I can about that. Let's move on to game modes. I mean, it's been a whole year. There has to be some brand new game modes that really shake things up. Yeah, there's like no new game modes. There's a couple, but they're like things that were in Halo at launch and other things, and they're really basic. There's no groundbreaking game modes, and even though these are all very basic new game modes, things like Fiesta and like the survival like wipe out the team thing, there's not that many of the old game modes back. If you're gonna focus on the simple game modes, which I'm fine with, bring back all the old simple game modes. There's no reason not to, but somehow they can't. They aren't doing it, and it sucks. It really does. Thankfully, though, there's now playlists for Slayer, Team Slayer in specific, Fiesta, and a couple others. But here's the problem, not every game mode has its playlist. And I don't know why they stuck with this system. I know they said it's because the way the game was programmed, there'd be no way to change it. I'm confused by that. Why would a queuing system be so intertwined with the game's source code? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. But why can't we just have the Master Chief Collection's queue up system? It was done to perfection in Master Chief Collection. I have no idea why they can't just continue using that as the basis. There was no reason to change it. That was done well. They've said that they wanted to make the other modes alive, but sometimes a mode is just not popular and people don't want to play it. So forcing them to play it is not going to make people want to stick around. It's going to make people want to quit the game. And unfortunately, I have a feeling a lot of people did that based on this type of thing. Because if you look at the Steam charts, again, we do not have Microsoft Xbox charts. Wish we did. We can only look at Steam charts. This game is not doing good. A new season just started, and they're not doing good right now. Okay, so we're looking at the Steam charts right here, and as you can see, Halo Infinite only has 3,546 current players at the time of me recording this. Let's see. The all-time peak? Holy shit, it's 256,619. That's a hell of a lot more. The 24-hour peak is only a little over 5,000, close to 6,000, but not quite there. And if you can look, it's been steadily declining. And the seasons that have been added, they bring the boost up a little bit, but never to the same level. And it's a constant decline. This is sad, but it's true. The new season just came out, and we're only averaging about 3,000 players. That's not good. When you look at this last season that came out back in May, which was season 2, we've only had 3 seasons in this amount of time, which is insane. It brought it back up to 6,000 from 5,000. This is an insane decrease. Very insane. The last 12 months, the peak was 12,000. That's not good. But May, it was 21,000. Each season is declining the player base. It's not bringing nearly enough people back. And you can say, well, it's an Xbox exclusive. Xbox exclusives, they don't really matter when it comes to Steam charts. You should be looking at the Xbox numbers, which we cannot look at. Well, that's a fair point. It is an Xbox exclusive, but it's also on PC. Another Xbox exclusive that's on PC, let's take a look over there. Sea of Thieves. Let's see how many players it has. 19,000 right at this moment. Almost at 20,000. 24 hours? 19,000 yet again. And the peak players this month? 27,000. This game has far more players than Halo Infinite. Sea of Thieves. This is a game that had a somewhat shallow launch, just like Halo Infinite. But the opposite thing happened to Halo Infinite. Unlike 343, Rare continued to update their game. They continued to add things that players wanted. They continued to work on it and worked towards helping the community get the game they wanted. Because of this game's a hell of a lot more successful than Halo Infinite is. I never thought I would say that. Listen, I love Sea of Thieves. It's one of my favorite games right now. I've been playing the ton of it. I've literally got over 200 hours from this year alone. But the fact that it's more popular than Halo is a problem for Microsoft because Halo should be the flagship title. How is this game not doing that good? But you can say Sea of Thieves isn't even an FPS. I mean, it kind of is, but it's more about the adventure. And you're right. Let's compare it to an FPS game. Halo the Master Chief Collection, in fact. Another Halo game. Oh, look. Barely any difference in the player count in Master Chief Collection's really old games. Granted, I'm sure that a lot of the people playing Master Chief Collection right now are playing single player. But here's the thing. That's probably the truth for Halo Infinite as well. That's not a good look. That's not the own you think it is. A lot of these people playing Halo Infinite right now are probably playing the campaign, especially since it's on sale on this very moment, or it might have actually just left sale, now that I think about it. But yes, the Black Friday autumn sale from Steam just happened, so people bought the single player. That's probably what a lot of these numbers are. It's not good. And if you look at the peak players in the last month, yes, it's not as high, but it averages a hell of a lot better than Halo Infinite normally. It's doing a much better job. I mean, just look. It's having a much steady player base than Halo Infinite is. So I'm not even sure if it really is that many people playing single player, because if it's averaging this well, I'm sure there's a ton of people that are going on to play these games online. But let's look at a more recent FPS game. Battlefield 2042, which is fucking god-awful. It's still doing better. How is this game doing so much better? Its peak players in the last month, again, much higher. This doesn't make sense. How is this doing better? This game is awful. But let's compare it to a good game. Battlefield 1, it's doing better than both of them, and this is an old game as well. And it's doing really good. This game's not getting updates. This is an old game. It's still doing really good. Battlefield 4, same thing. It's barely behind Halo. And it's averaging a lot steadier numbers. Wait, no, I'm looking at Halo and Master Chief Collection. My bad. But still, averaging is a lot steadier. And people are playing it. People are having fun. Again, single player is a factor, but especially in Battlefield 1's case, I'm not so sure how much. Battlefield 5, even this game, another game that's not very good, is still doing much better than Halo Infinite. Not good. Now, let's look at another FPS game, Counter-Strike, and yes, maybe I shouldn't be comparing Counter-Strike Global Offensive to Halo, but I'd say, why shouldn't I be? They are both FPS games. They are both on Steam. I think it's a fair comparison. And trust me, when you see my last comparison, you're going to think this is a much fairer comparison. And even I admit that the last comparison I'm going to show will be a little bit more, not sure. But look, this is laughable. And you could say, well, Counter-Strike's one of the most popular FPS games. Halo should be in that conversation as well. Halo should be in the conversation for most popular FPS game on Steam, especially considering the multiplayer is free to play. You can't use the free-to-play excuse for Counter-Strike, because Global Offensive is free-to-play. Let's look at the other two that are not free-to-play, that are actually mainly focused on multiplayer. Counter-Strike, the original, all the way back from 1999, 13,000. It's fucking destroying Halo Infinite. It's even destroying Battlefield 1. And Counter-Strike Source, even that is destroying it. This is not good. It should be doing at least better than Source, and honestly better than the original Counter-Strike as well. Call of Duty, we have a whole series here we could look at. But the ones I want to focus on, the newest one, which, yes, this game did just come out. This game did just come out, so we have to be fair. It's brand new. That said, this game is also $60. Actually, it might be $70 on Steam. So, yes, this game costs a ton of money. How is this game so much higher if it costs so much money compared to Halo? Yes, it's new, but you gotta remember the price of entry. And even though that's a good point, this is even more important to me. How is Black Ops 3 doing better than Halo Infinite? Black Ops 3 is an 8-year-old game. I know that's insane for me to say. It makes me feel weird too, saying this game is 8 years old. It's doing better than Halo Infinite in the Steam charts. And you probably see the bumper, this game's dead, Halo Infinite's destroying it. That's true. It's still averaging better. It's not losing players consistently. That's still big. And when it was doing good, it's doing better than Halo Infinite at its worst and its best right now, which is the best in the multiple months, by the way. And this game was basically always dead. Just so you know, Quake Champions is basically always dead, and even at its best, a game that was basically already dead is better than current Halo Infinite. I probably shouldn't really hold too much weight over this because Quake Champions, it's not the horrible game that I think many people would think it is for such a dead game. It's a game that was thrown out and put into the grave. I could make a whole video talking about this game and why it should have been big, but that's another story. And of course, the last comparison, which I've already said, yeah, this one's a little unfair. Grand Theft Auto 5. 83,000. Yes, GTA 5 is not an FPS game, although you can use that first-person mode, but it's still competing in online multiplayer action games. They're both action, they're both online multiplayer. The different breeds of online multiplayer and action, and GTA is fucking destroying it, and it's always been destroying it, except for the very launch of Infinite. Its very launch, it was actually doing better, I believe, than GTA was. Yes, it was. And I think it should have kept up with that if the game was really going to be held to a higher standard. Yes, this is a little bit more of an unfair comparison, I will give you that, but I still think it's an important one to make. Well, if they haven't added any more major game modes, maybe they've added some really cool maps. And yes, they actually did add a couple cool maps. Keyword a couple, there's only 4 new maps since launch. Yes, that little. Well, and they only come at the beginning of a season, so we're getting a new map every like 5 months at least. Halo, what the fuck are you doing? This is not how you keep an online shooter alive. But they added Forge, and I'm happy to say the Forge mode actually looks good. It can make really cool maps. There's a problem, though. You can only play these maps with friends, and from my knowledge, custom games is still pretty much broken. And even if you do have friends and you do get it to work, again, it's only going to be working with friends. So it's not going to save this game in the long shot. And you can say, well, it's Forge. How are you expect people to go into Forge games from the menu? And I'm saying, yes, it should be very fucking easy to do that because other shooters have done that. And I'm pretty sure even the older Halos have done that. I mean, you could just add a server browser. This would alleviate a lot of my problems. Yes, this is a console game, first and foremost. Server browsers are not common on console. But here's the thing. Why are they not? To me, it's stupid that there's no server browsers on console, even if it's only official servers. I see no reason not to have a server browser. It allows people to find the game mode and map they want specifically, and it can lead to some fun social interaction, especially if you have people able to make their own servers. Like they want to rent a server running the game, they can make it. Boom. That's a fun way to do it. Just look at TF2. It can create a community. It's really fun, and that's another thing that's missing from Halo Infinite. Community and social interaction. This game basically decentralizes any sort of social interaction outside of just playing the game. And this is Halo. This is a game just like TF2 that was built on part by social interaction. And I cannot blame this on Microsoft because the game that's destroying Halo Infinite right now, Sea of Thieves, that game's entirely built on social interaction. I cannot say that Microsoft has a thing against social interaction because Sea of Thieves exists. If that exists, then there's no reason Halo shouldn't be able to have that. Where's the post-match lobbies where we get to talk with every team? Where's the voice chat in-game? Nobody is using it. From my knowledge, I believe it's actually turned off by default. That's not good. And why can't we stick with a lobby after the game? There should be an option to do so. It should be just like the old game where you can leave the lobby after the match or mid-match, and you can actually stay there if you want to and play with the same people again. There's no reason to kick us out and go back to matchmaking. In fact, it would help in eliminating the repetitiveness, because if we got to vote on the next map with the other people, just like TF2, we could avoid getting a duplicate map 2 times in a row, which can sometimes happen quite often if you're using quick play. That's not fun. It's a good way to get you tired of the same maps over and over again. This sort of feature would help eliminate that repetitiveness. And if you want to go and play the same match again, my server browser suggestion I think is a very good one. And again, it's possible on console. I remember very specifically, Battlefield 4 had one on console when I was playing on PS4, and I thought this was awesome. And I'm pretty damn sure there were community servers. It was amazing, actually. I loved it. I really wish more console shooters would have this. So the progression's whack, the microtransactions are whack, the amount of new maps is whack, the amount of new modes is whack, the way the actual queuing into games is whack. Is there anything not whack about Halo Infinite other than just the core gameplay? Because I can't really think of anything. Every single thing in this game has a catch, except for the gameplay. The gameplay is still great. I mean, unless you're someone who is really ride or die, like if they have sprint, I'm not playing it. If you're one of those Halo players, then yeah, I guess you wouldn't like the gameplay. There is still sprint, but I'm also the exact opposite of that type of Halo player, and I actually think sprint's a good addition to Halo. I agree that it doesn't really work on some of the old maps, but on the new maps, it's completely fine. But the core gameplay's still great. When I was playing on the new maps, I was having a fun time. I even had a fun time on the old maps since it's been so long since I played. But very quickly I realized, oh, it's the same maps over and over again. Even if you get a new mode, it's going to be the same maps. And these maps are not the most unique for the most part. One of the new maps I played was pretty unique. I believe it was called, like, Mothership or something. It's like a big air freighter, I think. That's what it was called, I think. Something like that. Footage will be playing right now. That was fun. There was vehicles everywhere. People were having fun. Big team battle. It was a good map. And I wish we had more new maps like this. Because if we did, and we had new modes, and the old modes came back, we would have a Halo game that would have the contendership for being the best Halo. It would be in contention. But right now, it's not even close to contention. Right now, it's only neck and neck with Halo 5. If you want my opinion, the only one it's competitive with is Halo 5, which is by far the worst one, except for maybe this one. I think this one's got better gameplay, but Halo 5 had a lot more content, didn't it? Especially by the end. It was supported much more. And listen, free for free. I'm not sure what to say about this developer because they have botched Halo 3 times in a row. And I've always looked at the baseball system as being the best. 3 strikes and you're out. I really think Microsoft needs to shake things up. They need to find someone else to make Halo. Who should that be? That's a big question. Should id do it? I think that's something that could very much work. I mean, id made some fucking amazing shooters, but I have high confidence they could do a perfect Halo campaign. But could they do a great multiplayer? I mean, who knows? Doom 2016 had horrible multiplayer to the point where Eternal sort of said, yeah, let's make multiplayer not really a focus, especially if we're going to have players versus players in a normal way. Let's just do something unique. And I'm not sure if they can because of that. Well, I think the campaign would be good. I don't know if it could do a proper Halo multiplayer. And there's other companies that they could find. I'm sure someone could do it. Probably doesn't even need to be one that specifically works on shooters. I mean, people can work on one game and then go out and do the other. I mean, look at none other than the guys who made Battlefield. They made fucking Shrek Extra Large before they made Battlefield. You can watch my review on that. Shameless plug. Yes, the Summer of Shrek was not finished, and I am sorry about that. But I have high hopes that Shrek 5 will be coming out, and I will finish reviewing those games when Shrek 5 comes out. Just so you know, it will happen eventually. But that's it. I'll have to figure out a punishment for it. Probably a stream of some sort. But back to Halo. Yes, they just totally messed things up. I don't know what to say. I don't know who could take over. But I do know that Halo is a series that's in very dire needs of being shaken up. Microsoft's doing a great job with Sea of Thieves. Like, a surprisingly amazing job with this game. That could have easily just died. How are they doing so horribly with Halo? Halo is their baby. Halo is the reason Xbox is still a thing to this day. It's the reason the original Xbox did not flop. Let's be clear. How is this game so bad? And don't even get me started on the TV show. We can pretend that doesn't exist, but it's just another sign of how bad Halo is being treated at this very moment. It feels like they're being neglected, and it's really something that's hard to watch as a Halo fan, both the TV show and just the current treatment of the whole series. But that's about it for today. Sad to say I was right about Halo, but I was. Well, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. You won't be able to see the dislikes by default on YouTube, so as I always say, get the return YouTube dislike feature. The plugin for the Google Chrome store. Go get it. You should. It's much better being able to see the epic ratios on horrible fucking content. And if you want to dislike this video, as I've already said, I really don't mind. If you don't like the video, please dislike it. I doubt you're even this far. But again, just saying. Screw you, YouTube, for getting rid of that. And again, if you want to, you can subscribe. I'm fine either way, but it's always an option, and it does help me out. I'm not doing this for money, at least not yet. I mean, maybe eventually I'll be hucking Raid Shadow Legends to all the masses, but at the moment this is just for fun. So thank you for watching. It really does mean a lot, especially if you made it this far. I am out of here.